guys, it's Miss Alexa. Today I'm going to be helping out Mrs. Shantz, showing you guys some fun fonts. So I hope you guys have a pencil, a dark marker, and an eraser ready. Let's get started. So first I'm going to be showing you guys calligraphy. So the first part of calligraphy is just to write in cursive. So here I am writing in pencil the word calligraphy in cursive. Now I write in cursive a lot, so I'm going faster, but you guys are going to want to take your time to make sure that your craftsmanship is nice. And so next we're going to go into the letters and we're going to focus on the downstrokes. So that's where we took our pencil and we went down on the letters. And then now I'm going to erase my little arrows because I'm just showing you where the downstrokes are. And then we're going to go back in and we're going to thicken up the downstrokes. That's what's going to make the calligraphy have emphasis on different parts. So I'm using my dark marker and I'm going back over my pencil. And then here you can see I added like a little bubble or a box that I'm going to be filling in. And I'm going to go to my next letter and do the same thing on both of the downstrokes. Some letters might have multiple downstrokes on them, like A's or M's, and then other letters like this L here is just going to have the one. And you can kind of see my left hand is like over the letters right now, and that's just because I want you guys to see what I'm writing here, but make sure you're in a nice comfortable position. If my left hand floats over the screen a little bit, I apologize. So now I'm just going to finish lining my word with my dark marker, and then I'm going to go back through and put on each of those boxes. And then here in super speed, I am filling in my boxes. And then now I'm just going to take my eraser on my pencil, go back in and erase the little stray lines, and there we have calligraphy. So for our next font, I'm doing a chunky and tall lowercase lettering. So here with the A and then the B, it's tall and then the bottom is chunky. And the C is just wide. Same with the D, it almost looks like a C, but then I'm adding that staff to it. And the nice thing about fonts is that once you learn a couple of them, you're able to make them your own and add them all together in different ways, whether that's combining multiple fonts or just using what you know from one font to create your own. And so I'm just emphasizing the chunky bottoms on these letters, making them nice and tall, and then putting the rest of the letter towards the bottom, making it nice and wide. So this font here, I'm going to be showing you a serif font. A serif font is a font that has little dashes on the letters, and this adds a sense of traditional and classic emphasis. You might see it on fonts like Times New Roman. And so now all I'm going to do is I'm going to thicken up the edges of the letter, and the curved letters, you want to follow the curve. And going back in with my dark marker, I'm just going to overlap my pencil lines and then fill in those boxes that I've made. And so you can see those dashes that I've added to the letters, those are the serifs. And so fonts that don't have the dashes would be called sans serifs. Sans is French for not there, for none. And with our letter C filled in, that is our first serif font. The next font that I'm going to show you is very similar to our last, but it has a little bit more variation on here. Like I was talking about before, once you learn a couple different fonts, you're able to add your own variety to them and to tailor them to your own likes. So I'm just going through, and before I add the serifs, I'm adding the boxes and the thickness onto my letters. And on the letter C, I even added some boxes onto the top and the bottom of the curve. Now I'm adding my serifs. And now I'm going to come back in with my dark marker and overlap my pencil lines. And so what I'm going to do here, instead of filling the box in completely, I'm going to fill it in partially, leaving a line on my letter. So again, these types of fonts look classic, they look very traditional, they look really nice if it's something you want to describe as being maybe fancy. Would even be a really great way to use these fonts. And so in the letter B, I'm just thickening up some parts, but leaving a thinner line on other parts. And there's that serif font. So for this font, I'm going to just start with my dark marker, but you can keep using your pencil. I'm just using this because it'll be easier for you to see. This font is going to kind of look like a typewriter. So I'm using all lowercase letters and adding serifs to my letters where I'm starting and where I'm stopping the letter. So with the letter C, just one at the top and one at the bottom. Same with this, top and bottom. And so you can just go through all of your lowercase letters, and wherever there is a little endpoint, you just add a serif. And like I said, it could look like a typewriter font or just any sort of different font. And a variation on this is instead of adding the serifs, you actually add dots throughout the letter. So you add a dot at the beginning, come down at the end, and you're also going to add dots wherever other lines are connecting in the letter. So for example, in the letter B, you need one at the top, go down, one at the bottom, and we have two connecting points. So that's where you're going to add more dots. In the letter C, nothing really connects, so you just add one at the beginning and the end. But the letter D, just like B and A, is going to need 4 dots, beginning, end, and 2 connections. And it's good to trace your letters or hover above them so that way you can see where these dots are going to go and really think about where these lines are intersecting to create a letter. And now we are going to work on a font that is more involved, so you're definitely going to want to start with your pencil. And so I'm using the word sport here as an example. I felt like this font was going to fit that word very well. And so for my letters, I'm trying to emphasize the width of them by making them wide and not emphasizing how tall they are. Because what we're going to do after we get a basic sketch of our letters in, we're going to turn them into block letters. And we want to follow that line that we first created so that we're emphasizing the wideness and the width of the letters. Eventually, we're going to fill these block letters in with our dark marker. So we want to make sure we're using good craftsmanship through with our pencil, but also not being frustrated if we make any mistakes, because again, it's just pencil and we can erase and improve. See, my left hand is getting in the way there, messing with the focus. And so as I go, I'm just cleaning up my lines. That way I'm not having multiple lines running into each other that might end up confusing me later while I'm blocking in with my dark marker. Okay, so now I'm going to take my dark marker, or wait, I'm still with my pencil, sorry. So I'm just going through with my pencil, and I'm now going to add a block to the top of these letters, and I'm going to separate that block from the rest of the letter at the bottom. By doing this, it's going to create a line through the entire word, and I think you're going to see what I was going for once I do the whole thing. So I'm just putting a line through the whole word. Since I'm using pencil, we can always erase. And now I'm going to go over the top of the P and the O to add some contour. But then I'm just going to go straight over the last couple letters. And then, like I did with the S, I'm going to disconnect the bottom of these letters from this new top block. And then close them back up. And by doing this, I was kind of going for that ESPN logo, that sporty logo. So if on your trading cards, the person that you are showing off is somebody who's really into sports, or even you're just really into sports, you can use this logo to put their name on there. And so now I'm just going to go through, since I use my pencil, and erase any lines that I don't need anymore, so that way I'm not getting confused when I go back in with my dark marker. And so now I'm just going to trace, and I'm not going to fill in each letter as I go. I'm just going to trace and outline each of my letters and really focus on them, so that way I can create a really great skeleton for once I fill them in. You want to work nice and slow here, because once you bring out the dark marker, no takesy-backsies. And you see there, I kind of went too fast and then went a little higher, and so it messes with the continuity of that line there. And now I'm in super speed and I'm filling in my letters, but I want you guys to take your time, show some nice craftsmanship, and fill in your letters. And so you can see that I'm changing the direction of my marker as I'm going. That way I can really focus on where the tip of my marker is going. And here it is, sport. So now I'm just going back through with my pencil and my eraser, and I'm getting rid of any stray lines that I might have. And so by using your pencil, you can kind of tinker with everything, make these fonts your own, and now you're gonna go and have fun with it on your trading cards.